95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Notes from the Emirate, indeed. We're gearing up for the start of the International Government Communication Forum, which kicks off on Sunday. Got lots of discussions lined up, especially when it comes to the production of content, and it comes to the discussion on how the government departments here in the Emirate of Sharjah have communicated during the time of crisis as well. You could define the COVID-19 pandemic as well as how the relationship between the public sector and the general public at large has been expanding, whether it is in person or even on digital platforms. To talk to us about the event and to talk to us about what's being planned, we have Dr Khalid Al Midfa, the chairman of Sharjah Media City, who's very kindly joined us this morning. So very good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. Now, let's start talking about IGCF in general. And you've got a dedicated discussion as well. You've got a very nice panel as well to talk with, to let us know about what is going to be the key discussion from your end.
Again, thank you very much for having me today, and I'm glad that I can talk to your listeners from the studio here. Yes, we're ready actually to talk about our effort with the organizers of the IGCF, the International Government Communication Forum, who are celebrating their 10th year today, this year. And we're glad that we're a strategic partner with them. And we consider it as one of the most important events in this field, actually, in the government communication. And it is an opportunity for us as Sharjah Media City to communicate and to get through actually to the professionals in this field, and avail actually ourselves as a place, as a platform for media and creative people to come and join Sharjah Media City, and we're happy to be part of this event. So yes, it is an event actually held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Muhammad Al Qasimi, and with the following of Sheikh Sultan bin Ahmed, this event actually proven itself to be a successful one in the calendar of UAE at large, and in Sharjah in particular. And we're in this year contributing with a few workshops, as well as some talks, and which I will be joining, and of course my colleague Mr. Shahab Al Hamadi as well.
Can you tell us some more about the workshops that you're going to be participating in?
Yes, actually we're providing these workshops in partnerships with some partners, or collaboration with, for example, the New Media Academy, where in the first workshop we're talking about creating content for the digital platforms. And this actually stems from our effort to upskill the media people, or people who want to join and to utilize their creativity to create the content that they want to communicate to their followers. And if they are actually going ahead and having a business out of it, what are the strategies best to do so. And we've been actually having such events and such workshops continuously over the past years, and this is an opportunity for us in this concentrated event to, as I said, to upskill the professionals in this growing actually field, which is the social media platform, and the creating content for them.
And we were talking about this off the air, these workshops. You mentioned podcasts That's very interesting because nowadays you're seeing these spring up left and right, and more and more people are using that as an effective way to communicate their message. So can you tell us more about that medium in particular and why the focus on podcasts now?
As well, yes, this is actually the second workshop that we're having, and this actually with regard to podcasting, we're doing it in collaboration with Sky News Arabia, where we feel that during the pandemic, a lot of attention have been turning to listening to podcasts, and people having the interest actually to join to learn more about different subjects and things that people wanting to utilize their available time to talk. I mean, to listen to the professionals or to produce a unique actually content in that field, in the field that they are interested in. So we thought that we need to again to upskill and to have the best strategies for podcastings, and actually I mean, like you have here in Pulse 95 audio studios and so on, we have actually availed also some studios, recording studios for that particular field, which is podcasting, and it is within our headquarter in Sharjah Media City. And we feel and we believe that this is a growing field that needs attention, and hopefully we will be meeting the best in class actually in their fields in the podcasting field during this event.
So, Dr. Khalid, in terms of new developments of Sharjah Media City, you said off air that you have exclusive news for us here on the Morning Majlis and on Pulse 95 regarding 3 buildings that are in construction, I believe, in Sharjah Media City. Can you talk to us more about it?
Yes, actually, I'm glad to announce here that we're receiving our first project, actually, construction project in Sharjah Media City that consists of 3 buildings, a total built-up area of 6,000 meters, square meters, and it's 3 buildings of 3 stories each, and it consists of offices as well as a restaurant and a gym and facilities that will be available for the companies that are licensed in Sharjah Media City, and it will be operational before the end of the year. It is now connected to the different services, and there are the final testings and things, but we feel and we're glad actually that we're receiving them when we feel that there is this demand and the return of business to normality, which we are making ourselves ready with them, with the interest that is increasing actually to join Sharjah Media City.
Inshallah.
It's amazing to see how the free zone itself has grown over in Al Bataya now, and to talk to us about how things have changed during the pandemic, how there was an increased or what's the level of interest been ever since the pandemic happened, because we are aware that a lot of people moved on and became entrepreneurs because this the pandemic brought out the entrepreneur spirit amongst them. To talk to us about how things have been at Sharjah Media City in terms of incentivizing new investors.
Yeah, that is a very interesting subject actually to us. How people thought that now I have enough time to explore and experiment my ideas and my thinking, and with the availability and the skills that people have actually, and the availability of the internet and the different platforms for them to use and to utilize and to test. So yes, we've been actually lucky in Sharjah Media City, where we received a lot of interest from these entrepreneurs and who joined already Sharjah Media City and got themselves the license to activate this interest into business, and we've been seeing actually, and we are communicating and receiving comments from a lot of these entrepreneurs, and we're actually proud for some of them that they're receiving, and they're seeing themselves get into success already, although they've been just established less than a year in some cases. So this is actually very interesting, and with the drive of people working from a distance, and the acceptance actually of the industry as a whole of that notion and of that concept, they received a better response than they used to receive before the pandemic, as we all know. So this is actually a call to your listeners, that if you have any idea, if you have any plan coming for the future, that you want to establish your own business and so on, please come and talk to us. We will be trying to help you, to support you in getting you with the appropriate licensing for you to move forward.
For sure. Now, I think there's lots of good connections with Said platform as well within the city, where you can get people get to start your businesses with you. Now, I'd like to conclude the discussion with the IGCF again being the main focus. To what extent, if you can talk to us about the history of how it has evolved, and people would still ask you, saying, what's the purpose of IGCF? And you've been involved from the very beginning of when IGCF started. Talk to us about the significance, why this is such a massive, important event.
Well, this is the 10th version of the forum, and I've been part of Sharjah TV when it started, actually, at the time where governments wanting to know how best to communicate to their citizens. So it was actually a spot-on event at the time, and still is actually, to elevate and to utilize the best strategies to communicate, or to deliver the messages of the government to the citizens, and how to communicate to them, and how to receive back the comments and the ways where the government needed to listen and needed to do its action. So it was actually an event that I myself personally learned from, especially with the best-in-class people in their respective fields, coming all the way from different countries, and delivering those talks, and as well as workshops, and it was very useful, actually. And we saw in previous years, maybe it might be less so this year due to the limitation on international travel, but people from different parts of the world used to come and to learn from these intellectuals coming and talking and delivering their messages. So it is actually an important event to the region, and to the interested people in this field, and I believe it is going to be useful this year, as well as it was useful in previous years.
And now, what do you hope people will learn from your participation and your involvement in the IGCF about the communication landscape and how they could improve things in the future?
Well, as we all know, media and creativity is a field where it is touching a lot of other fields, actually. And we believe that there is an opportunity for anybody to establish his own interest into a working business model, and we through this medium, through the forum itself, we think that we can reach to a lot of them as Sharjah Media City, and to avail ourselves to them and to their ambition and getting their endeavors eased and for them to get into success.
And continuing on that note, is there a specific audience that you're trying to appeal to with your workshops and your presence in this year's IGCF as Shams?
Of course, we're wanting to reach all, innovators and creative people in the media field in particular. But of course, we can talk to the audience who are coming and attending the IGCF. So yes, we avail ourselves to everybody actually.
And all age segments.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Well, this certainly has been a fruitful discussion, and there's so much more to discuss at the IGCF this year. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Khalid Al Midfa, the chairman of Sharjah Media City.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you. And if you would like to catch this discussion, you can do so on Apple Podcast and as well as on SoundCloud and Spotify as a podcast post. And all you have to do is search for Morning Majlis and subscribe away. And the Majlis team shall return right after the business news headlines. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis only on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.